What if you were dying of thirst, your body desperately craving water, but every time you tried to drink, your own throat violently betrayed you, spasming in agony? What if the very thing you needed to survive became the source of your greatest terror? This isn't a scene from a horror movie. It's the cruel, biological reality of one of the most infamous diseases in human history, rabies. For centuries, rabies has been known by another name, hydrophobia, which literally means fear of water. And it's this one bizarre, terrifying symptom that has haunted our nightmares. But does rabies really make you afraid of water? The truth is even more disturbing than the myth. Today, we're going to uncover the sinister, evolutionary genius of the rabies virus, and explain the real reason it creates this terrifying fear of water. First, let's understand the enemy. The rabies virus is a master of stealth. When an infected animal, like a raccoon, a bat, or a dog, bites a person, the virus is passed into the wound through its saliva. But it doesn't immediately attack. Instead, it plays a long game. Think of the virus as a silent hijacker. It slips into your peripheral nerves, the body's communication wiring, and begins a slow, methodical journey towards the central command center, your brain and spinal cord. This journey can take weeks or even months. During this time, the person feels completely fine, completely unaware of the invasion happening inside them. Once the virus reaches the brain, however, the hijacking is complete. It takes control of the command center and begins to reveal its terrifying master plan. This is when the clinical symptoms of rabies appear. And this is where we uncover the truth about hydrophobia. So, let's get to the core of it. Does rabies make you psychologically afraid of water? The answer is no. In fact, the patient is often intensely thirsty. The fear is not in their mind, it's a violent, physical betrayal by their own body. Here's what happens. The rabies virus specifically attacks the parts of the brain that control swallowing, speaking, and breathing. It causes these areas to become hypersensitive. The muscles in the throat and larynx become primed to spasm violently at the slightest trigger. Now, imagine you are desperately thirsty. You bring a glass of water to your lips. The second the water touches your mouth, or even just the thought of swallowing, it triggers an agonizing, excruciating spasm in your throat muscles. It feels like choking, like being strangled. It's incredibly painful. It's like someone has installed an invisible electric fence in your throat, and every attempt to drink gives you a violent shock. After one or two of these agonizing attempts, the patient develops a conditioned terror response. They become afraid of the act of drinking, because their body has taught them that it leads to unbearable pain. So when you see old depictions of people with rabies recoiling in terror from a cup of water, it's not because they fear the water itself. It's because they fear the agony of trying to swallow it. This leads to the final, and most diabolical, question: why? Why would a virus evolve to do something so specific and so cruel? The answer reveals the virus's true, evolutionary genius. The rabies virus's only goal is to make more copies of itself and spread to a new host. And how does it spread? Through saliva. By preventing the host from drinking or swallowing, the virus achieves two things. First, it ensures that saliva, which is now thick with new copies of the virus, isn't being washed down the throat. It pools in the mouth, leading to the classic, foaming at the mouth, symptom. Second, the virus also affects other parts of the brain, causing aggression, agitation, and confusion. So now you have a host that is not swallowing, has a mouth full of virus-laden saliva, and is becoming aggressive and more likely to bite. The virus has turned its host into a perfect, purpose-built transmission machine. The hydrophobia isn't just a random symptom, it is a key part of the virus's sinister strategy for survival. Now, let's bring this out of the darkness and into the light. This story is terrifying, but it has a modern-day postscript that is a triumph of science. While rabies is virtually 100% fatal once clinical symptoms like hydrophobia appear, it is also almost 100% preventable. Modern medicine has given us an incredible tool, post-exposure prophylaxis, or PEP. This is a series of shots given to someone after they've been bitten by a potentially rabid animal. It teaches your immune system to find and destroy the virus during that long, silent journey to the brain, before it can ever take control. So, the story of rabies is a powerful reminder. It's a glimpse into the brutal intelligence of the natural world, showing how a microscopic hijacker can manipulate a body for its own survival. But it's also a story of human ingenuity. It teaches us to respect wildlife, to vaccinate our pets, and to trust in the power of modern medicine, which has turned one of history's most feared diseases into a preventable one.